Butter me up.
I'm not trying to butter you up. You already smooth as butter, baby. It's Friday. Are you guys excited? It's Friday. I know I am.
Good
I'm
morning.
so
Good morning. Good morning.
excited. Oh my goodness. Good morning. Good
Does the red light
morning.
work too?
It does, but it's not plugged in because I really think we need all the light. Um, I just need an extension cord for it is the
Yeah, I'm
issue.
in the bedroom.
But we'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Good morning. My name is Brian McNeill.
And I am Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And thank you for joining us on our show, Let's Talk About It. We come to each Monday through Friday right here on the SIBN network, on iHeartRadio, YouTube, TuneIn, as well as Facebook Live. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Like. Hey, we're back. Happy Friday with Let's Talk About It with the Empowerment Duo. We are the Empowerment Duo. I am Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And I'm Brian Keith McNeill.
And we are here with you every Monday through Friday, baby. But Fridays are even more better because it's shouted out. We get to shout out you and your businesses. Post your links so that we can share them on the screen, whether you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, or if you're tuning in to us on your favorite podcasting system. We certainly want to say good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And today we're talking about habit 3 of the 7 habits of highly effective people.
Habit number 3. And I'm telling you, we are glad to be here. We are glad to hear. And I love habit number 3 too. I say that as if it's already accomplished. No, it has helped me to frame out some of the things that I needed to learn. Why don't we tell people, why don't we first recap habit number 1, habit number 2?
Sure.
And we are doing the 7 habits of highly effective people. We're doing the 7 habits of highly effective people. And habit number 1, which we did on Wednesday, was be proactive. Be proactive.
Not waiting for circumstances.
And not allowing circumstances to define how you respond.
Yes. You creating the situation to dictate what kind of circumstances you want to be in.
Mhm.
Stuff you got to do. Be proactive.
Be proactive. Habit number 2
was begin with the end in mind. And I knew we would have a wonderful discussion about that. Beginning with the end in the mind. When this is done or when things are working, what do you want it to look like? That's your starting point.
Absolutely. We talked about reverse engineering and the 5 steps to manifestation. And now we're on habit number 3.
Habit number 3 is
first things first.
First things first. Our Papa freaks all the honeys.
Now, Stephen Covey did an elaborate, great expression of first things first. He actually has the 4 quadrants in there as well. But the 4 quadrants we first learned from
me. Yeah. I taught the 4 quadrants of time usage, and that's in this chapter of First Things First.
So why don't you let's talk about each of the quadrants individually, because that's what I found most helpful about this particular habit. Now, who I was referring to, yes, it was you, because you actually helped to elucidate and illuminate it for me, but also Gary Keller. In his book, The One Thing. The One Thing also helped to shape my understanding of how to organize my day, my week, my month, such that I am focusing on what needs to be accomplished to move my business forward versus lots of things that just keep us busy.
You know, that book, The One Thing by Gary Keller, is an interesting book to me. You know, I'm
going to go get the extension cord. Talk about that.
That's on my side of it. Okay. And you can just unplug the chargers. I read this book, The One Thing by Gary Keller, and I got my feelings about what the book meant. And friends of mine also read the same book. And this one of those books that we all read it, but we had different takes on what the book actually meant. Like one of the things I got out of that book is the folly of trying to multitask, because you can't do it effectively, and you should focus on the one thing that's the most profitable thing. And a friend of mine read that same book, and he didn't get that impression at all. you know, he got a different impression. So it was just interesting to me that we could read the same book and have different impressions about what it meant. And that's one of the books that it was obvious to me, the one thing by Gary Keller. People could get this feel differently about the same book. But anyway, he does talk about the one thing of all the things that you can do for your business. What is the most profitable use of your time? What would make the most impact? There's another principle that's kind of along those same lines that a lot of people talk about. It's called the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. And a lot of people use that Pareto principle. That's much better, actually. The Pareto principle in different ways. But the Pareto principle talks about 20% of your activities produce 80% of your results. That top 20%, that top most profitable use of your activities. It also talks about how 20% of your clients bring in 80% of your revenue. You got to focus on the top 20% of your clients that bring in all the revenue. And it even goes back into more things too. Even around your household, with your family, what is the top 20% of the stuff that if you did that would make 80% of your household run better?
Absolutely. Good morning, Beverly. She says, today I will no longer be busy, broke, or broken. I found the cheese. That's key to that is when they move your cheese, what you gonna do?
That's right. Lisa's absolutely right. That's from the classic book by Ken Blanchard.
Who moved my cheese?
And let's just go ahead and say that in case anyone doesn't know what that means. But it's a great analogy. This is a little story, a little short book, and it's a little story about this. They do these experiments on these rats. They put these rats in a maze.
Mice, please.
Mice in a maze, and they have cheese in a certain place. Okay, and the mice knows that if he goes around this place, there's going to be some cheese there. Okay, so and they do it a few times, and the mice knows where to find the cheese, and then they decide to move the cheese and put it someplace else.
Right.
And interestingly, the mouse doesn't do what people do. Okay, people would like,
oh my God, they moved the cheese. They moved the cheese.
Was right here all the time.
You know what? They come back tomorrow. You know what? When people walk past, did you know what? You know what used to be here? It used to be a pile of cheese here.
Stand there.
I used to come here every morning and get me some cheese.
Now they moved
cheese is moved.
It's not fair.
And it's not fair.
But
I am so tired of coming here every morning since they've moved it, and it ain't no cheese.
Bitch and mold. But mice don't do that ever. They go discover the cheese is not there and just start looking for some more cheese. Okay, they just keep going until they find it. Okay, they waste no time bitching and moaning about what's not happening.
Exactly. That principle is also one that that's also a principle that is ascribed to the spider.
The secret of the spider. Mm-hmm. The secret of a spider. Have you ever saw a spider web and decide to take a broom to it and knock down the spider web, and then in a few days, there's another web there?
Yeah, and that's also another reason why we need to realize that some things you just have to do. You just have to consistently do. I was talking to someone the other day and they said, I've been working on this thing for such and such and such amount of time. And every time I get it right, I got to keep on going back and doing the same thing. Well, how many showers have you taken in a lifetime?
That's another thing, a spider. Have you ever seen a spider walking along a railing or a banister and you decide to knock that spider off? Okay, if you knock the spider off its path, before the spider hits the ground, it's starting to spin another web to catch its fall.
And enjoying a new path. Oh, okay. We're over here now.
Well,
there we go.
Doesn't care.
No. What does a clue look like?
The spider does not care. You tear his house down, I'll go build another. You knock me off my path. They spend no time. Damn it. They knocked me off. I was going somewhere, my own business. All of a sudden, they knocked me down. Okay, nope. That's the secret of the spider.
Absolutely, absolutely. We got a comment out there. I want to read that comment from Leanne. Good morning, Michelle.
Leanne says,
go ahead.
That is my favorite book of all time with an exclamation point. Such a simple, fun story with such a powerful message. This book actually helped me after I lost my husband. Wow.
Absolutely. Now, Leanne, that, first of all, it is difficult to overcome the loss of any spouse. But Leanne had a magical and amazing marriage that I think was over 40 years long and was her only relationship. She said they were very young when they connected. So to have something that can help you shape your perspective such that you can continue and not just live but thrive, because I see Leanne so vibrantly.
Yes.
That has to be one of those books that's on the must-read list.
Yes.
Message. Now, first things first, how, Brian, do we determine what is first?
There's three ways to determine what's first, okay? But I like Stephen Covey's take on it. Determining, he breaks down our way we use our time into the 4 quadrants of time.
Absolutely. Now, I know you talked about the Gary Keller, the one thing, and how he would move.
Okay, I'll do that story.
You didn't do that? I left the room. I wasn't sure.
I was talking about how, me and Steve Gaddard, for example, we both read the book.
Oh, and you got 2 separate perspectives.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you have 2 different frames of origin as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes. He's 10 years older than me, white guy, grew up in banking. And I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. Okay. So we had to do 2 different, I didn't even think of it that way, baby. We had 2 different points of reference. Back on Leanne's point about the book, how that book helped her at a very, very difficult time.
That's Who Moved My Cheese?
By Ken Blanchard.
I read that when I was in corporate, probably year 15.
When my first marriage had broken up, and I was very sad, very. And I went to a city park and I sat on a bench overlooking a lake, pond, or whatever you call it, a small lake. And I had someone that recommended I pick up this book called Notes from a Friend by Tony Robbins. A thin book, Notes from a Friend by Tony Robbins. And I sat there on that park bench, very, very sad. And I opened up that book, Notes from a Friend, and I stayed there until I finished that book. And it made me feel so much better. It was like he was just talking to me. Notes from a friend, look, I know things are tough and this is this. And I was like, yeah, you're right, Tony.
It's so funny that you mentioned that. For those who are a part of my group publishing class on last night, one of the things I talked about that is a really great element to include in your writing when you write is actually a conversation direct to the person that you're speaking. So you stop writing in the first person and you don't write in the third person, but you write in the conversation. And you don't have to do the whole book like that. You can just put a segment where you just say at the end of a chapter or in the middle of it, where you say, sister, brother, I know how it feels when all of this stuff is coming down around you, if that's relative to your book or whatever. And I know that it can be frustrating. You might want to give up and you might want to, just be tired of doing the whole thing. But if you just hold on, if you just continue, I promise you it's going to get better. And sometimes just that interjection for the reader becomes the connection that they needed to see you as more than an author, but also a mentor, a co-conspirer, if you will, in their success.
I'm going to get to what you wanted to tell me, but I want to say one other book impacted me like that in one sitting. I was struggling in my business, but I was in my business. So I was happy, but I was struggling. And, but like the first try at it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it took me 4 tries to make it work, but it was like my first try. And I got a hold to this book by T.D. Jakes called Can You Stand to Be Blessed? Can you stand to be blessed? And it made me realize I was close to a blessing, but I wouldn't let it happen. It was amazing. Can you really just stand to be blessed? And it made me feel good, actually. It made me feel, it was encouraging to me,
Right. I think it is. I think it's that hope to go that little extra, like you've been chipping at that, you've been digging in the mine, you've been chipping at the rock, and I'm just tired of it. But if just somebody could just say, listen, keep chipping.
That's right.
Keep pushing.
You're going to be amazed.
You're about to be amazed. It's about to go down.
All right, so let's go to it. First things first, Gary Keller, who had a real estate agency, had a few agents with him, and they were trying to they wanted to break out of the herd. They wanted to become big. They wanted to become successful. They're like, what can we do? So they brainstormed message. Okay, they masterminded message because we have a mastermind group coming up.
Absolutely.
And they came up with an idea that if Gary wrote a book about real estate, that could really, really help their agency. You know, the book would garner attention locally and nationally. They could really, really help our agency. So he wrote a book about real estate, and it worked just like they thought it would. It worked.
The book wasn't necessarily, the one thing wasn't necessarily
that wasn't the first
about.
book.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
The first book was the real estate book. Okay? And that did actually help their agency. And the agency grew and it became tremendously successful. And along the way of building that agency and the ups and downs of that agency, he struck upon this idea that if they focus on the most important things most of the time, things work out much, much better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Stephen Covey broke down the way to find where your focus could be best served by putting things into 4 categories.
4 quadrants of time.
Absolutely.
Leanne Cannon says, where to go? The E-Myth. The E-Myth, so many other books reference the E-Myth. The E-Myth is a great read also. It turns on the light about working on your business instead of in your business. It's so important. This is a quadrant 2. The E-Myth is all about quadrant 2. So let's go ahead and do them right now.
Okay.
Quadrant number 1.
What's quadrant number 1, honey?
Quadrant number 1 are things that are important to do and urgent to do.
Important and urgent.
Important and urgent. I got a message from one of my son's teachers this morning. It said, your son is failing English. And I forwarded the message to my son.
I need you to stop putting my baby's business on the street. Go ahead.
Well, this ain't the first time I've gotten a message like that from his teacher, but Lisa was corrected when she said, you know, you've got these messages a bunch of times from different teachers, and as if by magic, he passes everything. So they'll send me a message saying your son is failing. I forward it to my son, and then turns out either they update something or he finishes something and he's passing the class again.
And the thing is, we don't always know which one of those things is how he's passing everything. Well, we don't know if they just finally updated some crap they needed to update, and now it's reflecting that he's passing versus he went in and caught everything up. But either way, the indicator that I consistently want to approach from the perspective of is that he is passing. At the end of the day, he's passing, he's doing the work, he's getting it done, and everybody doesn't perform the same way.
That's true. That's true. And what I said to Lisa, the reason why this is happening is because he's living in quadrant 1. He's making stuff happen when he's got to make it happen. You know, living life by fires. Oh my God, if I don't do it now, how many people have come through when a bill is due or they're about to lose something? Okay.
Absolutely. And I know that that's true.
Or wrote their best term paper the night before.
Or an hour before class. That would be me. But I also know that some of that was shaped in my character. And it doesn't necessarily mean it was good or bad, that I had to deliberately address whether or not this was a limiting belief or whether it was a character strength.
Good morning, William Brown. Yvette loves your makeup.
Under fire that way. And I don't believe that it's something that it can be unintentionally addressed in the 12th grade. I believe that this is shaped in you when you're young, like 3rd grade, right? Shaped in you. And then you get to come to an age where you determine this particular style of behavior, this particular shaping of my responsiveness is something that I either want to embrace or change. And I don't personally believe that that is the focus of someone's mindset at 17, 18, 19 years old. I think at 17, 18, you're just wanting to be. And then he'll come to a place, 25, 30, maybe, where he'll say, you know what, this didn't really serve me as best as I could. And I may decide at this point that I want to understand why I behave this way and decide if I want to behave differently. That's my 2 cents, maybe 5 cents.
I get it.
But
good morning,
my
Cynthia
son
Murray.
is amazing.
Cynthia Murray has a top fan banner now.
Yeah.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I don't know how people become top fans, but Cynthia, you're considered the top fan now.
Good morning, Bill. I'm curious. I'm curious to anybody else's perspective on those. I don't know if it's called procrastination because it's not really procrastination. It's contents under pressure, operating under pressure.
I think, and then they talk about this too. And the one thing, some people think they work better under pressure,
and I think that those people get to decide if they do, or if they want to do it that way. Yvette, we need to understand phonetically how you want that pronounced.
It's Yvette, not Yvette.
Yeah, because we're going to read both of those the same way.
If she said Yvette, we never said Yvette.
We never say Yvette.
We never said that.
So is it Yvette or is it Yvette or is it Yvette? I don't know how.
Yvette.
Yeah, we say Yvette. But anyway, today at 11 a.m. on One Word Conversations, the word will be revealed on the show. And Bill Brown's special guest is Beata Sawerin Reed, right here on the Empowerment Duo Facebook page on the Empowerment Network.
Oh, she said it's been there since January. Woohoo!
We didn't see it.
I didn't know. I might have saw it and didn't acknowledge it, but it just seemed interesting to me today.
So, absolutely. So, quadrant one, important and urgent.
You got to handle this now. It's a fire. Okay, it's something's going to be adverse. It's got to be done now, urgently and importantly. We do some things with our time that are urgent and important. Those are quadrant one uses of our time.
That is quadrant one. I'm going to put that in front of it.
Quadrant one or Q1 to be fine.
Okay.
Now according to Stephen Covey, before you move on, if you're spending too much time in quadrant one, it's demonstrating that you're not managing your life. It's demonstrating that you're letting your life manage you. Yeah. You're always robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're never making deadlines, or you're making them at the last minute. You're always plans. Putting out fires. Yeah. My actual job. And you're losing ground by living life by fire to fire to fire. Because you can never get ahead. Well, that was my job. My job was a firefighter. In a sense, I was a problem management coordinator at IBM. And so the only work that I did was, whoop, that's on fire. Whoop, that's on fire. Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it. And it became a stress, like it increases your adrenaline. You're always on heightened adrenaline. And it also didn't allow us to coordinate with the people who are supposed to be preventing the fires. Because in order for them to know what to focus on, we need to be doing reporting so that they can better understand. You got time. Here's where the fires are going to come from because they keep coming from here. But guess what? Putting out a fire. Right. So you got time for that. We don't have time to be efficient. We just got to be active. Today's discussion is on the third habit of the 7 habits of highly effective people. And the third habit is first things first. Now, quadrant 2 use of our time are things that are important to do, but not urgent. Things that are important to do, but not urgent. Things like exercise is important to do, but it's not urgent. Not yet. Yeah. Yeah, it comes to a place where it becomes urgent. Can become. And that's what happens to everything that you don't attend to in the important areas of your life and or business is that are not urgent, right? Important but not urgent. They become urgent. And they become the filler of your quadrant 1. Like for instance, last night, right? Last night, going to the store and getting dinner throughout the day was not urgent. It's not urgent. Until it was. We were working, we were talking, we were actively handling our clients, doing our business. But to run round about 5 o'clock, no dinner ready. When there's nothing in the house to cook, but just nothing we wanted. And dinner is not cooked. Oh, you're starving. And you're starving, then it jumps up into importance. It's higher on priority, your list of priorities. And that's the other thing I understood in sales early on. Every person that I try to sell to as lists of priorities. What's more important? And it's my job to raise what I'm selling to a higher place in the priority list so they can move on what I'm selling now. Okay, because if it's still low on their priority list, they won't move now. But quadrant 2 are things that are important to do but not urgent. Writing thank you notes, following up with your clients.
So important.
Updating your contact management systems, writing your book isn't something that's important to do,
important,
but not urgent. Especially if you want to earn your money as a thought leader or a content provider or a coach or any kind of service.
Absolutely. Now, remember, today we're talking about the 7 habits of highly effective people. We're on habit 3, and we're talking about the 4 quadrants. In addition to that, the 4 quadrants of time and where you can place your energy. In addition to that, it is Shout It Out Friday. So make sure that you not only share and comment, but that you also share what's going on in your business so that we can shout it out.
See, that's William's right, and this is what throws people off. He says, this is something that has been an issue for me for many years, mainly because most of my successes showed when I would handle it when it was urgent. I started to believe that was the only way I could be successful, which is not true. Thanks for having this conversation again. You're right, William. It's tricky.
It is tricky because we've come through.
That's right.
When you have proof that shows the opposite, when you have proof that shows, hell, I threw that together in 15 minutes and it was the bomb.
Right.
What?
That's tricky.
I'll go wait till I got only 15. But what would happen if I waited until I just had 5 minutes?
You need some examples of working the opposite way.
Absolutely. That's exactly what happened.
When I was in full-time straight commission sales, I won salesperson of the month very often. I thought at least 6 out of the 12 months I'm going to win it. And because I wanted it's so crazy. The reason why I wanted to win salesperson of the month because I want the salesperson of the month parking spot. Okay, that was my incentive because I wanted to park right up front where it says salesperson of the month. Okay,
I get it. Whatever works.
Isn't that silly?
What's his name?
Break our neck to get a parking space.
Well, actually, this speaker I was listening to the other day, he says that on I don't know if it's called a farm. What do you have? What do you have when you have sheep? Is that a farm?
It could be or pasture or
whatever. So they have 2 tools that they use to motivate the sheep.
That was a great talk.
That is a carrot.
I don't want to get into that yet until I finish my point. Okay. I was right in the middle of a point, and then we'll go back to that. Okay. Because that is a great story. Okay. Now, what I was saying was when I was a salesperson and I would win salesperson a month, I learned that if I went hard the first 2 weeks of the month, and get a lead on the other salesperson, other salespeople, that would discourage them and they wouldn't even try the second half of the month. So that instead of working by fire, I tried to make everything happen right up front. I would try to win it in the first week or 2 of the month so that I'm not in the last days of the month thinking, oh my God, I got to hit another sale to win this or neck and neck with anybody. That was my point. Okay. Now,
and an important point it was.
Yes.
So let's go to it. Absolutely.
Now, I'm going to finish your story about the sheep.
No.
Why not? I can't.
No.
Would you guys like to hear the story about the sheep that Lisa was about to tell?
No.
Yes.
Let's go on to.
So now, if you want to get sheep, a whole bunch of sheep to move somewhere, I know what you was talking about, carrot and stick.
That's the whole point. The point is that everybody has their own motivation. It was not to talk about that. Everybody has their own motivation. And some people are motivated by a stick and some people are motivated by a carrot. And it really does depend on what energy you use. But on this particular farm, the sheep who were being led to be sheared, not to be slaughtered, but to be sheared, were led so by motivating the top 5%.
85 of them.
If you can motivate 5% of anybody to go anywhere, then the rest of the herd will follow. Yeah. Look at Apple. They are a great example of that. They will lead the sheep.
Dr. Jefferson, I think I need to reassess my activities by these quadrants. Cynthia Murray is laughing. Y'all said it's tricky, and my brain went to it's tricky to buy a home or sell a home. Don't do it alone.
Yes, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Thank you, Melissa. Melissa says, well, I can shout out my biz. I have been adding some amazing and natural homemade candles to my store that smell divine, along with the do-it-yourself candle kit that with a video tutorial and also some gorgeous bracelets custom designed by Brittany Thomas.
Nice.
I've got some new services I'm adding this weekend too. Come check out the new inspiration in my store and help support this mompreneur. Her link is lessonsandlegacies.company.site. Thank you.
You're going to mess around and make some money. You're going to mess around and be an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Bill said, Lisa, I want to shout you out. I have used your flowers and weed story 3 times this week. It really landed with me.
Go ahead and tell it real quick because there might be someone who don't know that story.
The flowers and weed story, when I moved to Charlotte from New York City, the one thing that I noticed in my neighborhood and a lot of the neighborhoods that I drove through was everybody had a little flower bed either around their mailbox or around their front tree in the front of their house. And my next door neighbor, Mr. Charles, had both and I wanted them. So I went to Mr. Charles and I says, Mr. Charles, how do I get flowers around my tree? And he says, well, you plant them, go to Walmart and you put them down around your tree, and then you'll have flowers around your tree. So I went and I planted my flowers and they were beautiful. I love them very much. They were gorgeous until about 3 days later, some springy, ugly green bits started coming up inside my flowers. And so I knocked on the door again and I said, Mr. Charles, there's some ugly stuff in my flowers. What do I do? He says, those are weeds and you need to pluck them up. I said, oh, okay. So I plucked them up. And for another few days, I had beautiful flowers that was so nice. And then another few days later, the ugly green bits start coming through again. And so I knocked on the door again. Mr. Charles, I got these ugly things in my flowers again. He said, pluck them up. I said, I did pluck them up. He said, well, you have to keep plucking them up until they're gone. And I realized that plucking was not so much fun. And so I went around my house and I got my lawnmower and I mowed down the whole little patch of flowers because I did not want to pluck weeds as much as I wanted flowers. And I think so often, so much of what we all want in life, we don't want the responsibility of the work that it takes to make that happen. The consistent and ongoing work that it takes to make that happen.
I'm not sure you've ever told that story better. Good job.
Well, thank you.
You did a good job with the story, y'all. Quadrant 2 is things that are important to do but not urgent. But that's not the only way we spend our time. Quadrant number 3.
Quadrant 3.
Quadrant 3 are things that are not important, but they are urgent. They're not really important, but it's right now. It's happening now. And you need to do it now. Some phone calls are not important, but the phone is ringing, so it's urgent. Some TV shows, they're not really important, but it's coming on at 8 o'clock, and it's must-see TV. Not really important, but it's urgent. The game's about to start now. It's really not that important, but it is urgent. You know, there's other examples of where we spend our time on things that are not important, but urgent. Someone knocking at your door. It may not be an important knock at the door, but they're at the front of your house. You got to deal with it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Not important, but not important, but not important. Not important, but urgent. Let me fix this so that someone doesn't read
Melissa
it.
Price says, come on now, show me the money. Michelle DeWitt says, I'm glad you shared that again. Me too. Leanne, my Mindset Matters online TV show will air on Tuesday. Woo, woo. March the 2nd. That's next week at 2:30 p.m.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be awesome.
Absolutely.
Leanne has a beautiful spirit. Melissa Price, Lisa, I can see you mowing those flowers down. Ha ha ha. I love gardening, but can't stand weeding. It's a labor in love. Cynthia Murray says, wow, love that story. Leanne says, great story, Lisa. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. That story, along with many others, is included in Discovering Your Why, A Journey to Wholeness.
That's Lisa's first book.
My first book, my first best-selling book, and it's still available. You can go to IamLisaSantiago.com to order it, along with amazing stories like Conversation with For No More and other funny but real stories.
Let me tell you how lucky you guys are. You guys got a chance to know Lisa. Yesterday, one of the speakers on the Black and Iconic conference that I happen to be a part of, he talked about the fallacy of being a bestseller. Okay, the problems of being a bestseller, and his talk was really interesting to me. You know, or do you want to be a best-selling author, or do you want to get some money? And he talks about what Lisa talks to you guys about all the time: all of the different ways to earn money around your book. But you need books. Okay, how you can use your book to have workshops, use your book to get speaking engagements, use your book to create a curriculum and an online course, all these different things that Lisa so lovingly and willingly teaches her clients, because that's what she does. She shows you how to become a subject matter expert around what you do through a book. Okay, and it was just so interesting. I'm watching this guy talk, and he was so impassioned, he was so good, and I live with someone that's as good, if not better.
And writing a book is simply a part of sharing what you know in a way to enrich the lives of others. And I am going to be sharing something else that I know that I absolutely have grown to love over time, and that is blinging. Blinging, blinging, blinging.
Lisa wrote a book yesterday.
I wrote a book and a class curriculum for Bling 101. If you are like me and you love all things bling, then let me show you my bling. First of all, let me show you my bling. Make sure you can see my bling. This is bling, and this is one of Brittany's inspired phrases: dream, plan, execute. Dream, plan, execute. If you want to bling out your life and you want to have fun doing it, it's an amazing hobby that I absolutely love, and I've earned money with it as well. I am teaching you the basics. Bling 101. Bling 101 takes place on next Wednesday at 6 p.m. We're going to have lots of fun, and I will share with you the tools needed and the software needed to walk you through creating your own bling stuff, as well as show you ways to do so without investing in all of the apparatus if that's not what you choose to do. But for those of you who really, really, really want to get into it and want to learn how to create and design your own bling, then sign up for the class. Go to bit.ly/bling101 and hang out with me next Wednesday.
Now look at what just happened here. Now Lisa learned how to bling, and now that she's published a book and a curriculum on it, what does she do? She distinguishes herself as a subject matter expert, which means she can make money with it now. She can charge for stuff, you know, and she can get brought in for other stuff because she wrote the book. The one that wrote that was a book I read. Oh my God. In my when I knew I was trying to be an entrepreneur, there was this book I wanted to buy, and I didn't have the money to buy the book. The book was called How to Become a Recognized Authority in Your Field in 90 Days. How to become a recognized authority in your field in 90 days. And I felt like that book is going to make all the difference in my life. And I hate to admit this, I couldn't afford to buy the book. So I ended up appropriating the book.
Well, you could always make it good and give that book to someone else.
I could, because I still have it.
Yep. So Melissa said, also, I want to announce this now, since we don't come together here again until Monday. I have a very special guest on Lessons and Legacies at 2 p.m. on Monday, none other than the one and only Mama Lisa. It's going to be an Arbor episode, and I can't wait. Be sure to join us. I'm going to see if I can create an Arbor bling for that episode. I don't know. That may be a little far advanced for me. But one of the things that I am working on right now is trying to create a pattern to bling out my sneakers. I want to create a pattern to bling out my sneakers. I want to put bling here and here, and I want to put bling here. What y'all think? It's going to be blingage. It's going to be blingage.
And now as you showed the shoe, now they've seen it at the beginning. So before you did it.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dr. Deborah, I want to shout her out.
Now that I am released from my non-compete agreement with my job, I can now share my knowledge of fundraising and grant writing. Yeah, and yay is right. Woo!
Dr. Deborah for healing and deliverance coach and nonprofit strategist, helping you to get free from your limiting beliefs, then equipping you to help others. That's Dr. Deborah for healing.com.
Now, we can have more than one beautiful strength, and she does. Dr. Deborah has raised millions of dollars for nonprofit organizations in her life's work. She's done that work more than 20 years. She knows that inside and out. That is another way for her to make a lot of money. Okay, we have to help her to publish something about that. Something.
Melissa says, "Whoop, Arbor Bling, do it. I need me some Arbor Bling. I'll work on it. I'll work on it." It means a tree.
I know a tree.
That is blinged. A bling tree.
She said it's going to be an Arbor meeting. I was like, okay, I thought Arbor was trees because Arbor Day is what I was thinking of.
It is trees.
She said it was going to be an Arbor meeting, and I didn't understand that point right there.
All right.
It's probably because I haven't had breakfast yet.
I think that it is.
I'm really hungry right now.
And you can check out Yvette's website, thesmellgoodspot.company.site. Awesome.
Kelly,
yes. We can't wait for you to connect with Dr. Deborah.
You're going to love it.
And absolutely, Kelly is the author of They Lit the Way. Brittany is the author of I'm Living My Blessed Life with Cerebral Palsy. And Michelle DeWitt is the author of I've Been There. Dr. Deborah is the author of Get Free, Stay Free. Melissa is the author of Lessons and Legacies. Oh, Brian is the author of The Shortcut. Who else? Bill Brown is the author of the Beyond the Shell series. Brian is the author of
Why Rhinos
Make Great Salespeople.
Featuring Mr. Randall the Rhino.
Come on, we got authors on fleek, y'all.
Some cool friends. Let's go to the top.
Absolutely.
It's Friday. You ain't got no job.
Yes. Put your link, author Michelle DeWitt. Put your link, Kelly Little. Put your link, Dr. Deborah. Put your link, Melissa. Put your link, Bill. Put your link. 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 And the first up,
9:40.
At 9:40, we like to serenade our special guests. Actually, you guys are co-hosts, right? We can't do the show without you.
Brittany Ziegler. We love that you're here. You deserve a song.
Absolutely. You had a song.
I had a song from her that left me,
find it.
but I need your help to remind it. I need a reminder. Criminal minded. You've been blinded. Brittany Thomas is here.
That's right. It's Brittany. It's Brittany. It's Brittany. Brittany Thomas. It's Brittany. It's Brittany. It's Brittany. Brittany. It's your time. It's your time. Yeah.
Brittany Thomas, I'm so glad that you like your song because it's a good one.
She loves her song, and Brittany has already completed the manuscript for her second book.
Don't let the wheelchair fool you.
Don't let the wheelchair fool you.
I love it.
And in class last night, she even said she might be working on her third book.
But Don't Let the Wheelchair Fool You, is that not a not just for children's book?
It is a not just for, no, Don't Let the Wheelchair Fool You is not a not just for children's book. It is a book that will inspire you to surprise the world with your amazing skills, gifts, and talents, even if they don't look like something that someone who may look like you, sound like you, from the nationality you are, whatever, could do. Brittany has some amazing escapades in her wheelchair. She gonna dance, she gonna sing, she gonna hang out, she gonna make it happen.
So wait a minute. You're saying it's not even part of it is a children's book?
It is an illustrated book. So, of course, it could be a children's book. But I said it is a not just for children's book.
Not. That's what threw me off. Okay, because I imagine a 10-year-old girl that's in a wheelchair reading Brittany's book. Brittany's book saying, "Don't let the wheelchair fool you," and being inspired. I imagine an 11 and 12-year-old girl in a wheelchair needing that information. That's what I imagine. Okay. So who's up next?
It's
Leanne.
Yes. And it's Leanne. It's Leanne.
Time is a wheel in constant motion, always rolling us along. Tell me who wants to look back on their years and wonder where those years have gone. That's our girl, Leanne.
That's right. That's right. And Leanne, I am so excited to be a part of Leanne's group. Leanne, if you can put the link of your group, the Divas group as well. Leanne has Divas DIVAS, and I have Divas DEVAS. And you know what? You can never have too many divas. So I am looking forward to that. Now, next week is the first Friday. So you may want to make sure that you mark your calendar to come out for Women's Empowerment Network. And if you want to make sure that you get an invitation so that you can register, go to IamLisaSantiago.com/win and opt in so that we can be sure to include you on any of the upcoming sessions. We have Ladies Night coming up next Friday at 7 p.m. We are going to, of course, be networking, celebrating, and sharing. But we're also going to be coloring. And if you want to receive your coloring page so that you can have it for the group and have it ahead of time if you like, then you need to register, darling. Okay. So make sure that you do that.
Dr. Beverly, I think she was up next. Dr. Beverly is on the show. Good morning, Dr. Beverly. And after Dr. Beverly was Glenda.
Glenda's riding on the freeway with makeup in her pink Cadillac. Good morning.
Good morning. Good
Glenda.
Morning.
Good morning, Michelle DeWitt.
DeWitt, Michelle DeWitt.
That's it, right?
That's right.
DeWitt,
Michelle DeWitt. Good morning to you.
And Dr. Deborah, healing and deliverance coach.
Now, Miss Phyllis is here, so clear the way. Miss Phyllis is here. Now we can all have a great day. Good morning, Miss Phyllis.
Absolutely. Good morning.
I don't know how Yvette wants us to pronounce this. It's either Yvette or Yvette. That's the only iterations I know of.
Me too. You don't know? No, I don't.
Okay, but dear
Yvette.
Dear Yvette.
Dear Yvette. Dear Yvette.
Good morning
to you. Good morning to you. It's time for Melissa.
Bow, 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 bow. Melissa's on. Now it's time for us to sing her song. Melissa's on. Good morning, Miss Melissa Price.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited about your new products and your new kits.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning to our friend Bill. Nobody thinks like him still. We love him so, and we always will. Our friend Bill. Good morning to our friend Bill.
Good morning, Bill, and I am WilliamBrown.com.
Cynthia Murray. I've got that sister with me. That's right. I got my sister with me, Cynthia Murray. That's right.
That's right.
Those comments?
Kelly Little.
Oh, man. I don't have it mastered yet, but I know we had something for Kelly. I think maybe Hypnotize. Kelly Little, can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me.
I love it. It's author Lynette. At this table we sit.
Making it legit. Because when Lynette hits the show, good morning, Lynette. How you doing, my sister?
Good morning, good morning.
Lynette says, thank you, Lisa Santiago McNeill, for that song. Dear Yvette, you're welcome. Leanne says, I love my song too. Always makes me smile. Here's the link to my Divas group plan to join you on Friday. Whoop, whoop.
Awesome. I'm excited. Go to Divas Dream on Facebook and hang out with Miss Leanne herself. And Brittany, thank you for shouting it out. It is Shout It Out Friday. Brittany'sBeads.company.site. Motivation and inspiration for your life. We have a new member to the Empowerment family. So I'm going to shout him out even though he's not here, because a shout out for any one of my authors is also a shout out for me. We are working on a spring release for The Boy Who Dared to Dream.
It's a wonderful little book too.
I cannot wait to introduce him to some of the other, not just for children's books, authors, because you guys can help him to usher forward. It will be great for him to enter the fray of the camaraderie of the not just for children's books. And Kelly, that's not your link. That's not your link. This your link right here. Just leave that other one out of it. I don't even know why you wrote that whole book. So it's just villageking.company.site, and you can order Kelly's book, his first book. And I think I also added, no, I didn't add it. We got to have a different link, a different short link like this one for the They Lit the Way for the children's book. So we got to put both of them out there. Kelly, we're going to have to figure that out.
How cool of a community is this? We got authors, we got thought leaders, we got business people, we got mature folks, we got folks who like to laugh and joke with us and get our jokes. We didn't even say it yet. Okay, quadrant 1 is things that are important and urgent. Quadrant 2 are things that are urgent but not, important but not urgent. Quadrant 3 are things that are not important but urgent. And quadrant 4 are things that are not important and not urgent. And the challenge here is, if you examine your life, you'll find that you're spending a lot of time doing things that are not important and not urgent.
And if that is you, it's don't beat yourself up. Identify it and resolve to address it. Resolve to address it.
E.T., that Eric Thomas, he used to talk about when his life wasn't working. And sometimes after he's watched same Sports Center 3 times that day, because Sports Center would run Sports Center, then they'd run it again, and then run it again. After I watched it for the 3rd time, then I would get up and get me some cereal and then figure out what I'm gonna do with my day. That's what I'm talking about, wasting your time. You're wasting your time. You're doing things that are not important to do and not urgent to do, not causing any good to happen.
Absolutely. Here is the short link to They Lit the Way. It's my.epublishyou.com/They Lit the Way. And that'll be the easiest way for you to be able to access Kelly's last book as well. I'm just excited.
I'm excited too. The work I have ahead of me today. Yesterday, the weather cooperated so wonderfully well. I was able to work almost all day.
Not almost. You were outside all day. You were outside all day.
I set up a table. I had my laptop out there. I had my tablet out there. And I had cigars out there too.
It certainly was a beautiful day, but it was beautiful for me even inside. I got to finish up a couple of websites for my authors that I was working on. I got to finish working.
Nice to finish up projects.
Yeah, I got to finish up some animations that I was having done. I had to do a little account management for some of my authors, which is always fun. But I also got to bling. And I don't think y'all know that I love to bling.
I'm tired today. I'm glad it's Friday, which is my point I was about to make. Yesterday, I got a chance to work outside all day long, but today it doesn't look like it's going to be raining today. But either way, the week is ending. Okay? The week is ending. And please, it's very important. We bang on this drum all the time. To let this week end before you begin another week. Break the weeks up. It's so easy as entrepreneurs, especially working from home, to just have all the weeks running into each other. And then you find yourself burnt out and unproductive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's recap these 3 habits that we've done the 7 habits of highly effective people. We started on Wednesday with habit number 1, be proactive. Be proactive. Habit number 2, begin with the end in mind. We have found things run so much more smoothly when you have a track to run on. Number 3, first things first, identify what the priorities are in your life and then build your life the way you want it to look.
These are habits of highly effective people.
Absolutely.
You want to be a highly effective person because you get shit done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yesterday before I went to bed, I wanted the freedom to, in my mind, blinging is akin to digging my feet in the sand.
Really?
Oh my God, yes.
Like that?
Yes. And you know how wonderful that is. I've been looking for a hobby for decades, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, blinging, especially the brushing of stones, is akin to digging my feet in the sand. I wanted to design my day today so that I would have a block of time that I would not feel guilty about being able to just dig my feet in the sand.
That is true. Lisa's been looking for a hobby for a long time. Mm-hmm. Something that she can lose herself in.
Absolutely. And I think that it's bling. I am really, really beginning to think that it's bling. But I had to arrange my life because I also love what I do as a coach, which was why it was so hard to find a hobby. I had to find a way to honor my clients, my coaching and my publishing clients, and still give myself the latitude to enjoy some me time. Now, Bill did have a shout out. He says, I am William Brown helps you discover yourself so that you can show up authentically in your work, in your relationships, and for yourself. Sign up for your Discovering You assessment tool at discoveringyou.now.site and schedule some time with Bill to start you on your journey. And absolutely something you want to do. Bill, go ahead and put that link separately as well so that it can be easily clickable. Bling, bling, bling. So yes, I love bling and I would love to share bling with whoever is interested in it. I will do some videos of my bling sessions. They are very, very, very relaxing. But I'll also be teaching bling on next Wednesday and you can join me in that class. I have written a manuscript. I have written a instruction manual to go along with the class. And the curriculum is very thorough. It's Bling 101, so you don't have to be an expert. And the prerequisites are listed on the site. Go to bit.ly/Bling 101. Following us today at 10 a.m. on the Empowerment Network is Mr. Coach Ja at 10 a.m. with Coffee Time with the Coach. And then at 11 o'clock is Bill Brown right here at One Word Conversations, followed by, that's it on Friday. That's it on Friday. So check out the Empowerment Network. Make sure that you come back often and don't forget.
And before our show comes on this network, Cortez Springer,
today
he talked about ignorance of the law.
Killing it. Cortez be killing it. Woo, that's right. It's Friday. Mm-hmm. You worked hard all week.
You should probably.
That's it.